Hi, this is Brad Costanzo, and welcome to 10-Minute Tips for Maximum Health and Wellness. We're here today with John Rowley. Years ago, when a devastating car accident cut John's promising college athletic career short, he had a choice: give up his dream or get healthy again. John took on recovery with a vengeance, studying kinesiology, exercise, and anatomy, fitness, and nutrition. And he went on to combine his unique knowledge and passion to help people with his runaway bestseller, Old School, New Body. An international sensation, it has motivated people worldwide to work harder towards physical, mental, and spiritual fitness. John was also the author of two other books, The Power of Positive Fitness and Climb Your Ladder of Success Without Running Out of Gas. For over 35 years now, John has used his passion to inspire others. His simple solutions, crafted from what he's learned from top athletes, doctors, and even celebrities, have changed people's lives. He's very passionate about sharing his knowledge with others so they can become healthy, lean, fit, and successful in their own lives. And he's here with us today. John, welcome.
Brad, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being here. The one question that we're asking all the experts, and we're asking you right now, and this is a broad question, and there's a million answers to it, but what is the number one thing that you believe people can do to maximize their health and wellness right now?
Well, it's funny. There are a million ways to answer that, but I think the first answer begins with a decision. I think the person needs to make a decision. Then they can weed through the other million things they need to do. But once they make a decision, the rest of it really becomes easy because nutrition is simple, exercise is simple. None of it's really that complicated. So it begins with a decision. That decision should then germinate into creating a plan for their life.
So let's dive more into that, because a decision, it sounds like that should be the easiest thing, that, okay, we'll just make a decision. Okay, I decide to be healthy. I decide to be this. But if that is the key to it, why is it so hard for people to make that decision? And what are some of the ways that that you show people how to do that more effectively?
Well, people will make decisions. It's like W.C. Fields says he's quit smoking because it's easy. He's done it 1,000 times.
Right.
There's a difference between making a decision and making a committed decision. Once you make a committed decision, hell or high water is not going to keep you away from it. When I had my car accident, I was a top athlete before I had that accident, and they told me I would never walk again, but I made a decision that I would walk again. And the way I walked again is once I was able to get out of my bed, sneak out of my bed when my parents were not around, I set a goal every day of a crack in the sidewalk at a time. So every day I would get one crack in the sidewalk further. I lived in New York. First day it took me 8 hours to do the first crack on a walker. Second day, 8 hours to do the crack on the walker. It's not a whole lot different with nutrition and exercise. Take it a crack at a time. Take it a day at a time. Take it a meal at a time. So many people focus on these 12-week programs. I'm going to do this 12 weeks. I'm going to lose 40 pounds. I'm going to put 10 pounds of muscle on. You know what? That's all well and good as a long-term goal. But your real priority should be eating your next meal properly, getting to the gym and doing your exercise, getting your proper rest. The things that you do daily, that you do on a daily basis, are the things that matter. And sometimes these big overall plans, these big overall goals, these high expectations can get in the way of actually your commitment.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, how do you distinguish people who've made a decision? Because, man, it's really easy. I decide I want to be skinny or healthy, versus that committed decision. Like you hit on that a little bit, but are there techniques? Are there ways to know if you've made a committed decision versus if you've made a weak decision?
Well, yeah, everybody knows whether they're committed to something.
Mm-hmm.
A commitment means that you're not, regardless of what happens, nothing's standing in your way. So you just, whether it be diet or in the business world or in your personal life, you know if you're committed. And if you're committed, you're going to do everything that it takes to do it. Now, people who are committed still fall short. It doesn't mean that you're perfect every day, but consistency is the key. So you need to make that the commitment and really stick to the commitment, and then be consistent. And most people know that whether they're not, it's really, there's no way, you can't put a heart rate monitor on somebody or wave something over somebody to see if they're committed. But I'll tell you something, you can see it in people's eyes if they're committed. You know if somebody's committed. And the people themselves know if they're committed. I see people in the gym every day. And you see a lot of out of shape people come into the gym, and you can see the ones who are committed and the ones that aren't. Several years ago, we saw a guy there that was at the gym, very, 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 very obese. Great guy. My youngest son befriended him because he wanted to encourage him and make sure that he stuck to it and everything. What we didn't know is this guy was committed, and he ended up being on The Biggest Loser. Did very well. I think he won it, and that was a commitment. Now, his commitment, and I don't want to mention his name because of this, his commitment waned after the show. So he had the commitment for the short period of time for the show. Once the show was over, his commitment waned, and he went back to being very overweight again.
I've heard that about that show, that it's actually notorious for having people gain the weight back afterwards, because it sounds to me like that's more of an external commitment, or it's almost like it's a commitment being forced upon you. Okay, you're on the show, we're going to tell you what to do, you're not getting out. But when people go home, if they haven't made that commitment internally, it doesn't stick. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and it was. I see Lou Ferrigno on a regular basis. I used to own the gym where Pumping Iron was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good friends with Lou. Every time I'm out in LA, I'll see him in the gym. We'll talk. And I had asked him a couple of years ago. I said, what do you think the difference is between somebody who's, who stays in shape for a lifetime, because he's 9 years older than me, and for those who don't? He goes, consistency is the key. Just doing it every day. So the first thing is make your commitment. Basically draw a line in the sand that you're going to do this, and then figure out how to make it consistent in your life. Some people have a very, very difficult time with their meals. So those people should sit down once a week and plan their meals. Other people have a very hard time with their exercise. So they need to find something reasonable that they can stick to, commit to, and make consistent. It's not what you do once a week or once in a while that makes the big difference. It's what you do every day. Every single day is what makes the difference.
You're absolutely right. And I know when I went through a transformation years ago, just when I decided to get more physically fit, I knew that even if I couldn't go to the gym that day or whatever, that I had to do at least 5 to 10 minutes of in-home body weight exercises, no matter what. And I wasn't doing it just for my body. I was doing it so that I didn't get used to not working out. So I kept that top of mind, and it made a dramatic difference, because once you stop, it's really easy to let that go and to let it lax. Are there any other kind of tricks that you've either helped taught or worked with clients to get that that consistency planning? Is there anything that, like, if I came to you and said, John, help me, what?
You touched on it. Years ago, when I was in Manhattan real estate, I worked very, very long hours. Sometimes I wouldn't get in until 1 in the morning, and then I'd have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to get going. And I typically worked out very early. I usually worked out at about 4 in the morning. So even if I only got 2 hours sleep that night, I would still get up and go to the gym. Even if I had a lousy workout, I remember a couple times going to the gym and actually just sitting on a bench and not even working out. But I knew just getting to the gym worked with my discipline, allowed me to be consistent, and I felt better about myself. So I would just encourage people, find tricks that work for you. For me, it was just really discipline. Even if I was exhausted, I still disciplined myself to get out of bed and go to the gym. And most of the time I would work out when I got there, but I do remember once or twice over the years I just sat there, I was exhausted, had a cup of coffee with the guy who owned the gym, and didn't work out, but I felt better about myself because I committed to something and I still did it. Even though I didn't get the workout, and I still got out of bed and went to the gym.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And the idea of making that committed decision as being the number one thing that people can do to maximize their health and wellness makes a lot of sense. A lot of people will say, avoid sugar, avoid carbs, avoid this, that, or the other. But I guess none of it really matters unless you've got that foundation underpinning you, which is that committed decision. John, this has been incredible, and you've made a career out of providing some amazing resources for people, as I mentioned in the introduction. Old school, new body, helping people who are middle age and above get the body they love back. You've got meal replacement formulas. You've got other courses. What is the best place that people can go if they want more information about John Rowley?
The best place to go would be johnrowley.net. Everything that we do can be found there.
Perfect.
And then if you want to provide other links for the other things that we have, you could do that as well. But johnrowley.net would be where they could find out about me. They could see my media appearances. They could find my UX3 Perfect Meal Formula, which actually got changed the name. We're changing the name to the UX3 Body Shaping Beverage, which is a top-of-the-line meal replacement. And everything is there. But
I love it.
I do encourage you to put those other links because it'll make it a little bit easier to find the individual products.
I absolutely will. Well, John, thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful, and it's been a very refreshing answer to the question we've asked everybody. So thank you one more time.
Appreciate it, Brad. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
You bet.